Students, see, this is the syntax of a class over here. Class should start with a class name. Class is a keyword, predefined keyword. Okay, whenever you are writing programs, this is the keyword it should start with, and this is any class name, any user-defined class name can be. Then opening parenthesis, then at last it should be closed. Okay, now this is the general syntax. You can see this class is having the data type with instance variable 1. Then it can have another variable with the data type, so until it can have n variables. Okay, then after that a class can have methods also with the type, method name, and the body of the method. It can have n methods. So this is the general syntax of writing a class. So now you see here, whenever you are going to write programs, all the programs will be based upon this structure only. Okay, you have to write the class. Class will consist of two things, that is variables and methods. As in the starting classes, I've shown you one example. The example of cookie cutter. Okay, cookie cutter is one example of a class, and the cookies are the objects. Okay, I'll show you over here. You can see. See, you see what are classes? A class is a template or a blueprint from which objects are created. Like you can see, this is a cookie cutter, which is a class. It is like a template. And all these are the shapes which are developed by using the cookie cutter. So these are nothing but the objects. Okay. So you can see class is nothing but it is a template for an objects and like cookie cutter. And the cookies that are nothing but the objects, they are the instance of the class. Okay, don't get confused. Slowly you will understand in detail as we go further with the examples. So you can see the class is at the core of Java. It is a logical construct upon which the entire Java language is built. The whole complete language is built on this concept only. Writing class, creating objects. Writing class, creating objects, how to initialize variables, how to access methods, all those things. If you understand this chapter and the next chapter, chapter 6 and 7, then you can be able to understand the other parts of the syllabus. They will be very easy for you then if you understand these two chapters. So now you see, as such, the class forms the basis for OOP in Java. So any concept you wish to implement in Java, it should be encapsulated within a class. Fine. Now you will also learn three things in these two chapters: methods, constructors, and this keyword. Okay, this is very important. So now the fundamentals of class. There are some fundamentals. You can see, as I said just now, a class is a template for an object. An object is an instance of a class. Remember, this is very important. Because an object is an instance of class, you will often use to see two words, object and instance. Fine. So I hope you have understood the introduction part. Okay. Now I want to show you one example over here. This is a simple class. This one. You can see this is a class. This is a class which is having only variables without methods. Okay. Don't worry. We will see more examples. So this is a simple class box which is having some variables width, height, and depth with the data type as double. Now I will explain this part after explaining one program. Okay, inshallah. I will explain you all this program. Okay. So here is my program, the program which is there in the textbook. Okay, students, please concentrate well. If you want to record it, you record it also. This is very important, the one which I'm going to explain now. Now see here, first of all, what I'll do is, I will execute the program and I will show you. Students, this is very important. See, in this class, there in this notepad, this is in a notepad which I have written. I have saved this particular file. I will say it as not as notepad. I will say that as file. So you can see I have saved the file with box.java. Okay, and see box.java is over here. You can see box.java notepad I have stored in my computer. Now you all see here with the name box.java I have saved. So I will compile the program. Now you see here on the command prompt and I'm pressing enter within few seconds. But you see there is only box.java which is available here. But as soon as I compile this file, there will be one box.class which will be generated. This part I am explaining now itself. Afterwards, I will not explain because for every class program you compile, then it will generate one box.class. So you have to remember this. By default, it will generate after you compile the program. Now you see I'm pressing enter over here on the command prompt, and you observe here. Okay, students, I think you can see over here. This is a box.class. So remember, whenever the program is compiled, it will generate the dot class file with the name of the file. Because the file name is box.java, it is generating box.class. Now, to run the program, students remember here, in this particular file, there are two classes. There can be one class only, there can be two, three, four, as many as classes in one file. But you have to remember, at the time of running the program, you should give the name of the class which is consisting of main method. Like in these two classes, there is a box demo class which is having main method. So over here in the command prompt, you should give that name to run the program. So I am pressing enter now. See, it is able to give the output. So you all try to remember, if you give another name, no, another class name which is not having the main method, if you try to run the program with that, you will not get the output. See, error, main method not found in class. So you can understand by this thing, it will execute or it will run that program which is having main method. Okay, I hope you have understood. Now the next thing. So remember here, I have to explain this part, the one which I've highlighted. It is very, very important, students. Okay, remember this. So what is actually happening over here is, this is the class name, this is the object name, and this is the new operator. So whenever the compiler sees new operator, what the compiler will do is, it will create one memory location in the memory, and to that memory, it will give this name. Okay, box. It will give the name as box, and in that it will have width, height, and depth. Okay, how? Because of this new operator. And who can access it? This object name what you have given in your program, my box, can access it. There's some problem in my pencil, in my mouse. So this my box can access this. Okay, so remember this point, very important. Now then, you see there is one variable width. So my box, the object which is associated with the variables width, this will be assigned to 10. Similarly, height in that memory of my memory of box will be assigned with 20, and depth will be assigned with 50. This one and this one. Okay, now I hope you all have understood. Then at last what will happen? You can see there is some computation, that is multiplication of three variables, width, height, depth, which is associated with this my box object. They all are multiplied, that is 10 into 20 into 15, that will be 3000. After that what will happen? It will display here 3000. I hope you all have understood. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. So this is the program which I have explained. Okay, now as I said, this one. So what I have explained, it will do that part only. This is the object, and with the help of new operator, it will create a memory. That memory will be named as box. Inside that, it will have these three variables: width, height, and depth. This one. And how to assign values from the main method. See, these are the three variables which are available in box. All of them will be assigned with the values from the main class by this way. The object dot variable name equal to object dot variable name equal to object dot variable name, that is width, height, depth equal to. They will be assigned with the values in the memory of box. Now, then this part, students, this is a little bit change over here. You have to observe what is the difference between that program and this program. Okay, now you see I'm going to draw something over here. You all please try to understand. So as you can see, just a second. Okay, students, see this part I have drawn just now, as you have seen. So what is going to happen actually is, when the compiler sees this method, this line of code, what the compiler will do is, by seeing the new operator, it will create this part in the memory. Okay, this thing. And the name of that memory will be this box, as you can see here, box. Okay, inside that, what it will have is whatever is there in this thing. In this class box, there are three variables: width, height, depth. So it will have width, height, and depth. Okay, I hope you have understood. Then after that, same thing with this line, but the name will be with mybox2. See here. So as you can see, there are two lines with two objects: mybox1, mybox2. So mybox1 and mybox2, with the help of new operator, will be connected in with the memory. And in the memory, what it is having, there are two objects: data box, same here also box. I will say about 369 and 10 20 15 after a few seconds. So this is done. Now the next thing. So after this, what is going to happen is, you can see this mybox1 dot width, which is equals to 10. So the compiler will assign the variable width equal to 10. So which variable? There are two variables, width over here also. There is also another width over here. But due to this complete command, mybox1 dot width, so that width of mybox1 will be assigned with 10, like that it is. Similarly, you can see mybox2 dot width equal to 3. So the variable width will be assigned with the value 3, but which object? mybox2. I hope you all have understood this. Now, the next thing. After that, you can see this line. Similarly is for height and depth of mybox2 and height and depth of mybox1. Now the next line is, you can see over here, there is some computation which is going to be done. mybox1 dot width into mybox1 dot height into mybox1 dot depth. So this three variables values will be multiplied, but two there are two copies of these three variables. But you can see as over here, mybox1 dot width. So the variables will be multiplied which are there or which are associated with mybox1, that is this one. So they will be multiplied 10 20 15, and that will be stored in this wall. So now it will display, this part will be displayed with the product of 10, 20 and 15. Then next thing, as you can see over here, this is my box 2 dot width into height into depth. So there is a computation, that is multiplication of WHD, which is associated with the next object, second object, this one. It will be the product of 3, 6 and 9. I hope you all have understood this. I'm going to clear all my drawings now. So what I'm saying is this part will be created with the help of these two statements. Remember this. And the variables which are there inside this, width, height, depth, width, height, depth, they are assigned with this part. Just a second. The values are assigned with this code. Okay, I hope you all have understood this. Now I'm going to remove this drawings. If you want to take down the screenshot, you can. Yes, anyone, any doubt in this? Yes, please reply with yes or no. Okay, students, now next thing is declaring objects. So what is declaring objects? So as I said, I have explained about this part now. Here also. That part is nothing but declaring objects. So this is the complete thing, but this complete statement can be written in two steps. This step, first step, and second step. Or if you don't want to write in two steps, you can straight away write in this one step only. So what is this actually is my box space my box. So with this, it will only declare an object. It will not be allocated with the instances of class box. When you write new, at that time only my box will be allocated with the instances of class box. Like what do you mean by this is, I'm going to draw now, you see here, this one. See, with this particular first statement, what actually is going to happen is box space my box. It will only create over here the object. It will not be allocated with the memory. So this is for the first step, declaring a reference to objects. Then the second step, what will happen is, now with the second step, this is the thing. When you are going to have the new operator, that is when the compiler sees new operator, no? So this my box will be assigned with the content of class box. This is the content of class box. Yes, I hope you have understood this. Okay. I'm going to clear the drawing. If you want to take down the screenshot, take down. Okay then. As you can see over here also, it is explained here also. As I said just now, this part, the first one, declaring. This is declaration. This is allocate a box object. So this is just declaration. So what will happen? Only an object is declared. That is the effect. But when it is allocated, how it is allocated? With the help of new operator. So what actually is happening? My box will be allocated to this box object. Okay. I hope you all have understood this. Then next thing, this is also very important. assigning object reference variables. Okay, see this one. This is the first step. Box b1 equal to new space box. So with this first line of code, this is going to actually happen in the memory. Okay, when then next when you write this statement, box b2 equal to b1, so this is the complete thing. That is, b2 also will be allocated with same thing what b1 is allocated with. I hope you all have understood this. Now, as you can see over here, although b1, b2 both refer to the same object from this diagram, b1, b2 is referring to the same object, but they are not linked in any another way. That is, a subsequent assignment to b1 will simply unhook b1 from original object without affecting the object or affecting b2. Like for example, if you write like this, okay, so that is nothing but this thing. Okay, but sorry, this complete two statements. These complete two statements are with these two things. But when you write b1 equal to null, so what is happening is b1 has been set to null, but b2 will be linked with this part only. Don't worry. I hope you have understood this. Then the next part is introducing methods. Okay, in the class. See, introducing methods in the class. As you can see, the above 2-3 programs what we have seen. See, in this particular program, there are two classes. So this class is having only variables. Even this class is having only variables. But now the next thing is that class can have methods also. See, class box is now having variables and methods also. Introducing methods. So what is the syntax? You just see the syntax of writing a method is type, the name of the method, if any parameter you want you can have, and the body of the method enclosed in parentheses, opening and closing parentheses. You can have the return type also, return value. We will see this. See now. So this is the class. Okay, see, this is the type, and this is the name of the method. There is nothing in the parentheses. So this is without parameter. So this particular class is having variables and one method. Now we all observe the program. What I'll do is I will show you the output of this program. I will just copy it and paste it. Okay, now students, see here this program I have copied the two classes, class box and another class box demo. Now what I will do is over here I have to save the program. You can save with any name whatever you want, but over here I will save it with box demo 3 dot java. I'm going to save it with. Now you can see I have saved the program. Now I will compile this program. Okay, as I have saved the, you can see over here at the top it is box demo 3. So that is why I'm compiling it with the file name java c space file name dot java. So see, I have compiled it. Now you can see over here in the background See, after I compiled, it has generated one class file also. There are two class files. You see here in this program, how many classes are there? There are two classes, class box and demo3. So over here, this is the demo3. This is the class box. Okay, if you think this is the compilation of the previous class, what I will do is, you see here, I will save it in another folder. See, I'm going to save it. Students, this is very important. Please observe this. See now, this particular program, this particular two classes, box and box demo3, I have saved with box demo3.java in my folder, this here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile, and you all observe here how many dot class files it will generate after I compile this. I'm pressing enter now, you all observe. See, because in this file there are two classes. Because in this file there are two classes, class box and class box demo3. So that is why it will generate those many number of dot class files. Okay, after this is done, now I will run the program. I'm going to run it. And remember, as I said just now, before, just a few two programs before, with which class you have to run the program, that class which is having main method. Here box demo3 is having the main method. So press enter. This is the output. Okay, now few more things in this program. What are the few more things? See, you all please try to observe the difference between this program, the one I have explained this one, this program. Okay, with this program, you have to observe the difference with this program, the upcoming program. The complete subject is like this only, sequentially. So you should observe your current program with the previous program, or the current concept with the previous concept. Okay, so what is there actually in this program is, see